Hello, Matt Davis here with some homework quiz help. This one is from section 5.5. A person plays roulette 8 times, betting on red each time. Recall there are 18 numbers that are red, 18 black numbers, and 2 green numbers on a standard roulette wheel. We will let x equal the number of wins in the 8 plays, and we're going to use the shortcut formula to calculate sigma of x, and we're going to approximate our answer using 5 significant figures. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do in the interest of giving help and not answers is make a change to the question. Instead of playing 8 times, we're going to look at 11. So we'll change both of those spots to 11 plays 11 times. And then the next thing we need to do is recognize our situation. We're letting x be the number of wins in the 11 plays. And so we're playing 11 times and counting the number of successes that we get. So that puts us in the NPQ situation where n is 11, p is the probability of success, which would be if we won, which would happen when we bet on red if a red number came up. So that would be 18 out of 38. And q would be the other 20 out of 38. You could go to decimals for p and q, but note that you want 5 significant figures in your answer. So if you're going to go to decimals, you'd need to use at least 6 significant figures in your p and q, which is kind of a lot. So I'd rather just use the exact value of the fraction. So I'm going to show you the work that way. That going to decimal rounding error could end up throwing your answer off. So we'll just play it safe and use the fractions. So they said to use the shortcut formula, and when you're in an NPQ situation, the shortcut formula for standard deviation is the square root of n times p times q. So we want the square root of n, 11, times p, 18 over 38, times q, 20 over 38. One of the key things to getting this right is to make sure that you get all 3 numbers inside of the square root. So let's take a look at that in the calculator side of things. So we want to do second square root. The calculator automatically opens up parentheses, and you don't want to close that till you have n, p, and q all in there. So n times p times q, and then I end the parentheses. When you're doing the binomial probability formula and your p and q are fractions, you're raising them to a power, and to make sure the whole fraction gets raised to the power, you need parentheses around the fractions. But in this NPQ situation, order of operations will work out just fine without the parentheses around the fractions. So just make sure that you open the parentheses for the square root, which is automatic on the calculator, and don't close it till you get n, p, and q in there. And then we press enter. We want 5 significant figures, so 1.6560. The 0 is followed by a 1, so we'll stick with the 0. So swapping back, writing our answer down, sigma x is approximately 1.6560. Sometimes people say, oh, if it's a 0, I don't need to write it. But if you get told to write 5 significant figures, you need to show the 0 to show that you're following those directions. So 1.6560 is our final answer that we'd enter into active learning. Again, the most likely place this would go wrong in my mind is on the calculator, closing the parentheses too soon maybe after the 11 or after the p. So you got to make sure you do n times p times q and then close the parentheses. That's the most likely spot that could go wrong. Other spots would be to not recognize this as an NPQ question, or to round your p and q and not use enough significant figures in your decimals to get you an accurate answer. So I hope that's helpful. I would recommend going with the fraction version so you don't have to worry about rounding error and just round at the very end. And good luck to you as you head back to your quiz.